Our Reverend Vera McNally is going to talk to us about the inner Christ child. Reverend Vera.
Okay, I think we're good to go. All right. Good morning, all you beautiful, shining souls. What a blessing it is to be here in this season when the world grows cold and quieter. And cold we experience in the next 2 days. It's still going to be cold. It's going to warm up and it's going to drop down again. So, welcome to our beautiful winter in Alberta. And we know as the nights grow longer and our hearts naturally turn toward themes of light, hope, and renewal. December has a way of inviting us inward toward the soft, glowing center of our being. So let's start with an opening treatment. There is one presence, one love, one light at the center of all life. That same life and light lives in me, right here in the quiet center of my being. The inner Christ child, the pure, untouched essence of who we truly are, shines through. This radiant innocence is not fragile. It is powerful and is a place in me that remembers I am loved, I am guided, and I am held. Today I allow my inner child to rise and remind me that the divine spark guides me, softens me, and opens my heart. With gratitude, I release this treatment into the law. As I know this to be true for myself, I know it to be true for each and every one of us here today, and so it is. So today we turn our hearts toward one of the most profound mysteries of the spiritual journey, the inner Christ child. Today we turn our hearts towards one of the most profound spiritual journeys of our individual lives. And not just our individual lives, the Christ child is connected to each and every one of us. For those that were here last Tuesday, we talked about the matrix and how the connection was there. So we are all interconnected. So it's not just about us, it's about all of us here. So I invite you to pause, to soften, to listen to that small, mighty presence that's within each of us. Because awakening the divine child isn't about becoming childish, it's about remembering our original innocence, our inherent goodness, and the spark of God that has been with us since the very beginning of time. As we reflect on what it truly means to nurture and awaken this Christ child within, we begin to see how this holy awareness reshapes everything, the way we treat ourselves, the way we love others, and the way we meet the world. Ernest Holmes says in The Science of Mind, the Christ is the embodiment of the divine sonship, which has existed forever. He is God's idea of humanity, perfect, whole, and complete. The birth of the Christ child is not something that happened once. It is something that is happening continually as we awaken to our own spiritual nature. And the Bible echoes this in Colossians 1:27, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Not Christ outside of you, not Christ far away from you, but Christ in you. The inner Christ child is a beginning and not a destination. Think for a moment about an infant. Newborns arrive here with no accomplishments. They don't worry about being smart enough, being prepared enough, or be worthy enough. They just simply are. They just come into this world just simply with pure love. The inner Christ child in you is the same radiant potential, your spiritual innocence, your untouched wholeness, your divine nature before the life layered on fear and separation. Ernest Holmes states, there is a place in us which is untouched by the world and is as perfect as God. The inner Christ child is a part of you that knows love before heartbreak, trust before disappointment, and joy before conditions. It is part of you that still believes in possibilities. Isn't that amazing? Even at this age, even as we get older. It doesn't matter what age. The inner Christ child still believes in possibilities. So there's nothing you cannot do. My mother always used to say, I would go up to her and say, I can't do that. And she'd say, yes, you can. You just choose not to. And I said, well, I can't fly. She said, yes, you can. You get on an airplane. My mother had an answer for just about everything. Now you know where I got it from. So where exactly is the Christ child in us? Where does it hang out? Imagine it sitting peacefully somewhere between your deepest wisdom, your most childlike joy, and your ability to find snacks at about 3 o'clock in the morning if you decide to get up and you're hungry. It automatically knows where you put all those snacks. And you can take them out of that cupboard and put another cupboard. And I can guarantee you, if you're hungry at 3 in the morning, it's going to find your snacks. It just knows. The inner Christ child does not live in the part of you that overthinks, or lives in dramatic situations, or wakes up at 2 in the a.m. and wonders, who do I offend in 1998, 2000, last week? It doesn't worry about all that stuff because it's innocent. The inner Christ child lives in a part of you that forgives easily, laughs quickly, and trusts naturally, and believes good things are coming without needing proof. Isn't that wonderful? We don't need to know that something good is coming towards us. We just have to accept it as children. When they go out and play, they just accept. Doesn't matter. Oh, it's going to rain out. Yeah, okay. Don't forget to take your rubber boots. Yeah, okay. And guess what? They're gone in their running shoes. They don't have a jacket, and they're out there playing because they don't believe in the lack. They believe that they're going off to have fun. And if it rains, guess what? They get to jump in the puddles. Remember jumping in the puddles as a kid? It was so much fun. I still do that now. Yeah, I do. I really do. Jesus said, let the children come to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these, in Matthew 19:14. Jesus wasn't talking about the height requirements to get into the state of heaven, like you'd go to Disneyland and you have to stand up and, stand up. Okay, nope, yep, another year you can come back. No, he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about height requirements that to get into heaven, you don't require that. What he's talking about is your state of being. Your state of being. In spiritual practice, awakening the inner child means reconnecting with feelings of trust, surrender, and joy. It's a process of releasing the layers of conditioning of fear, of criticism, and that accumulates in adulthood. How many of us have that? I know I have. I got a whole train load coming behind me sometimes. You get in those moods where just you wake up and it's just like, the world's it's just a terrible place. And then I turn around, look behind, and said, yeah, I got a whole cart of those trains coming behind me. I better get rid of some of those. So get in touch with that inner child. Get in touch with your innocence. So many of us carry wounds from the past, moments that in our childhood that someone might have said something to us, or we felt unsafe, or love seemed to be conditional. As children, we should have unconditional love in our lives. But that doesn't always happen. Embracing the inner child is also about healing these wounds, offering compassion to parts of ourselves that carry pain, shame, and regret. Spiritual healing begins with acceptance, seeing ourselves through the eyes of divine love. The Christ child within never judges, never condemns. Instead, this present is a source of infinite mercy. Through prayer, therapy, and community, we learn to nurture those wounded places and allow new life to emerge. Your Christ child is not passive. It's an active guide, offering wisdom and inspiration. When faced with decisions, we can ask, what would my inner Christ child choose? The answer is often rooted in simplicity, kindness, and integrity. The Christ child is fearless in his pursuit of goodness, and reminder that courage and hope are born from innocence and not from power or control. So I had to let go of control. Working on power. I'm getting there. Like I said, spirituality is stepping, stoning, and then working. So letting the Christ child means surrendering the ego's need for certainty and embracing the adventure of faith. It means walking with humility and trusting the divine presence within our will, and it illuminates our path. There are many spiritual practices that help us connect with the divine child within, and we can encourage this awakening by exploring ways we each personally nurture our own inner child. And here are the 5 that I use, and I find that they work quite well when I need to have control and power, so I need to step back into the prayer and spiritual mind treatment. That's number 1. That's number 1 on the list, is a prayer or spiritual mind treatment. So those quiet moments of reflection, allowing us to listen to the gentle voice within, the voice of innocence, love, and truth. Number 2 is meditation. Sitting in stillness, we discover the spaciousness of heart where the Christ child dwells, unburdened by fear and doubt. Number 3 is journaling. Expressing our inner thoughts and emotions can unlock creativity and vulnerability, bringing us closer to our authentic self. Number 4 is service. Acts of kindness open us to the joy of giving and receiving, and revealing the interconnectedness at the heart of the spiritual life. And I just wanted to say here, for the acts of kindness, you can volunteer anywhere. All the ones that you people here that volunteer at the center here, thank you, thank you, thank you for your service and your acts of kindness. I mean, bless all of you for doing this. And number 5, play and creativity. Engaging in art, in music, or play. Why not play? You know those coloring books, you can get those, what are they called? Those, you sit there and you meditate and you follow in the lines. Well, I don't actually follow the lines, I just color. And play restores our sense of wonder and joy, reconnecting us with the spirit of the child. And number 6, connecting to nature. Be it camping, hiking, or simply sitting by a lake or a river and just connecting to Mother Earth and just being still. No cell phone, no pen, no paper, no nothing. Just the stillness and connecting, and let that inner child just revel in the beauty of what we have here in our world. So when we allow this inner birth, something miraculously happens. We speak more gently. We listen more deeply. We forgive more easily. We choose peace more often. We trust life a little more. We live from love rather than fear. Ernest Holmes describes this transformation beautifully. When the Christ is born in us, we become a light unto the world. Not because we try to shine, but because divine light naturally radiates through a willing heart. Matthew 5:14, Jesus said, "You are the light of the world." I'm going to repeat that. You are the light of the world. Right now, right here today, as you are, because the light is already in you. And our journey is not solitary. The awakening of the Christ child within each individual strengthens the bonds of community. When we recognize the divine in one another, barriers of judgment, prejudice, and isolation begin to dissolve. We share in each other's joys and sorrows, learning to forgive, to celebrate, and grieve together. In community, the inner child finds expression through acts of love, justice, and generosity. Together we build a world where compassion reigns, a world that remembers the sacredness of each person and the unity of all creation. We are both human and divine, ordinary and extraordinary. That is the profound mystery of the heart of the spiritual life. The inner Christ child is the embodiment of this mystery, holding together the paradoxes of faith. As we grow in awareness, we realize that the journey of awakening is never finished. It is a lifelong invitation to deep love and greater freedom. We're always growing every day, every moment. Every second of our life, we're growing spiritually. Imagine holding the inner Christ child within you, the presence of love, hope, innocence, and potential. What does it look like for you, holding that inner child? What does it feel like? Anybody stop and thought about it? What does it whisper in your heart? Maybe it says, "I'm here. I'm your true nature. Let me grow. Let me shine." For me, my inner child would be a little bit cheeky, full of curiosity and adventure, with my attitude of, why not? Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Well, let me tell you, sometimes it's been an eye-opening experience, but I'm telling you, I grew because of it. And possibly sneaking an extra cookie just because I can. That would be my inner child. Because I knew where I hid them at, so when I got up 3 in the morning, I know where my cookies are. So as we walk through December, season of lights and candles, gatherings and quiet nights, I invite you, make room in the inn of your heart to forgive quickly. Slow down, take a nap. Clear a bit of inner space, learn to let go, and allow something new to be born. Treat yourself with tenderness, release self-judgment. The Christ child grows where there is gentleness. Listen for guidance, trust deeply. Every nudge toward kindness, every whisper of peace, every moment of compassion is the inner Christ child leading you. Let your inner light be seen, not perfectly, not dramatically, just authentically. You are here to shine. Ernest Holmes says, the Christ is a universal sonship that belongs to every soul. And the Bible proclaims, John 1:5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it yet. Just think about that one. The light is always shining. Walk in a dark room. As soon as you flick that switch, there's light. So the light is always there, and the darkness can never take it away. So as we conclude this time together, let us remember that the inner Christ child is ever present, inviting us into a life of spiritual abundance, creativity, and peace. No matter where we find ourselves, on mountaintops or in valleys, in certainty or in doubt, the divine child within assures us that we are loved, that we are whole, and that we are called to embody compassion in the world. May you leave today with a renewed sense of hope, a deeper connection to your true self, and the courage to nurture the Christ child within and around you. Thank you for sharing this sacred reflection, and may your journey be blessed with joy, peace, and radiant love. And may you know that with every breath that God lives in you, through you, and as you, and so it is.